Don Lemon from CNN, he turns out to be gay. But here's the truly shocking thing about Don Lemon.
Okay.
He's 45 years old.
Wow, that is shocking.
Isn't it?
And he came out as a 45-year-old? Because I thought for sure he was like 25.
No, I thought he was like 25, 30 oldest. No older than 30, okay? But 45, I was like, wow, that's amazing. Oh yeah, and by the way, he's gay.
You're like, oh yeah, well, that part was obvious. But he's 45. All right. By the way, Don Lemon, I think, wins the award for most polished anchor in television.
He's a cutie patootie.
I don't know about that part.
Wait, you mean performance-wise?
No. I mean, like, he looks polished.
I know. He looks so clean.
He looks. Now that puts you in trouble, okay?
No. I don't mean it that way. By clean, I mean like he has a perfect haircut.
I know.
His
I know.
face
I'm
looks
playing
perfect.
with you.
That's
Just
not what I
calm
meant.
down. Just calm
Unlike Greasy Turk over here.
You're right. Okay, now see you get him. No, I only say that because Biden once said Obama was clean. You're like, oh, Biden, what are you doing? Okay, but no, seriously, he looks exemplary.
Yes.
Like you look at Don Lemon, you go, professional news anchor.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, it's kind of old school, you know? It's like, and everybody's different, and I'm not saying one is better than the other. Like Chris Matthews, he'll come out, ties this way, hair's this way. So he'll be like, and I'm into it. He's like, oh, let's play hardball, right?
Yeah.
But Don Lemon's like, now we're on CNN.
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, okay, all right. So if you like that kind of thing. All right, now back to him being gay. Well, you know, apparently it was a surprise to some people that he wasn't out. Right? Mm-hmm. Like people at CNN are like, oh, people don't know that, right?
Yep.
But again, it's important for everybody to come out at some point. I'm not judging people. I'm just saying you come out whenever the hell you like. It's your life, of course, right? But it's helpful. And Rachel Maddow did a big segment on this. It's helpful so that people go, oh, okay, Don Lemon's a good guy. He happens to be gay, so what, right? That's the main thing you want to accomplish in the end.
Right.
Right? And so every little bit helps. So I think Don Lemon doing this, taking the step, he wrote a book, and he got nervous about it. Look, you don't know. If you don't live that life, you don't know, right? Mm-hmm. You know, and he said, look, I've been hiding it this whole time. He thought about taking the chapter out of the book and then,
he was
and then
scared.
put it back in. He was scared, right? Because you don't know what people's reaction is going to be. And some careers, especially in the media, have been hurt by it, right?
Of course.
We talked about it in the context of anchors and stuff. I'm sorry, actors. So could it be in the terms of anchors? Sure, why not? So it was still, I know it's a late date, you know, for us to still be surprised, etc. But it is still courageous.
Of course. So, I agree.
You know.
We have a video for this story. Let's watch.
Oh, okay.
And Don, you know, I know this is probably tough stuff to have to talk about on TV, let alone, you know, writing about it in your own book. You write, you know, the book's called Transparent, and that's precisely what you are, especially when it comes to the whole storyline about being sexually abused by a teenage neighbor. How long did that happen to you?
It went on from, I guess I was about 4 or 5 years old until about 3 or 4 years before my dad died. My dad died when I was 7. And so it went on until my teens, until I started to go to junior high school or so. So it went on for a couple of years. But my mom remarried after my real dad died, and we moved out of that neighborhood, and that sort of took me out of the purview of my abuser. So it went on for quite some time.
I want you to do me a favor, because this is much better in your own words than mine. Yeah. I want you to read this excerpt from the book where you talk about that part of your life.
Okay, so you want me to do this? I wanted you to read it, but I will do it. And I have to tell you, I'm a little nervous. I've never really talked about this on national television before, so it's kind of weird to be on a show
talking about yourself,
anchor, and talking about myself. So it's a little odd here, but this is from the book.
Okay.
And it said, what had started at my grandmother's house as a rare but painful experience became a sad and frequent part of my life. I was 30 years old before I even told my mother what happened to me. The shame, the confusion, and the sense of humiliation runs that deep and becomes that twisted. Even though some experts estimate that nearly a third of all adults were molested as children, they can't be sure. Childhood sexual abuse often goes unreported and unpunished. Most children who are molested know their abusers, which was the case for me. And that was a neighbor, one of my mom's very dear friends. It was her son, and he was older than me, and that was my abuser, and I didn't want to tell anyone because I thought that I was doing something wrong. And, you know, he would threaten us and say, you know, I'll just say it's your fault.
Yeah, look, that takes a lot of courage, man. It really does. I've never been in a situation like that, so I don't know what I would do, but that's tough.
There was other parts of that. It was a long interview back and forth about how and then he addressed the point when he said the abuse has nothing to do with my sexuality. He goes, he said that's a
I'm
thing that's
really
always
glad he
pushed.
clarified.
Yeah.
Yeah, he clarified that part, and then about how just in the black community, because they always, whenever there's a story about race or something like that, he may come up and be the one talking about it, and then he's like, with especially in the black community, a lot of times he's worried about the level of acceptance it'll be, because everybody knows generally it's still a huge taboo in the black community. So, there was that reason. There was the other reason, and then he said he also wants to save kids like the kid from Rutgers who was exploited by his roommate and ended up committing suicide. Just things like that. It was all these reasons he was doing it, and you could tell visually. You can tell a lot of times, like the whole Today Show or the nightly news concern. He's actually a little shook. He didn't want to have to read that excerpt that he wrote in the book.
Right.
So it's very real. It was really cool that it happened that way, and then that he'd put all this time into it and still wasn't sure about it. It takes a lot.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm 100% with Don Lemon. But also during that clip, I figured out who's the polar opposite of Don Lemon. It's not Chris Matthews, it's me. Okay, look at me. I'm a mess, man. Like, right? And I love going off script. And I don't like reading the script, right? But Don was so uncomfortable there, like having to go, like, he's used to reading a script. He's a professional. Look it up in the book, right? And so anything that's a little outside, he's like, oh, there's an anchor talking about my personal life. Whereas I think, like, if you're an anchor and you're not talking about your personal life, what's wrong with you, right? And I'm just messing with you. I say polished, you say clean, right? But I was looking at that clip again, and I was like, man, that dude is the cleanest man in America. You know what I'm saying? And then the other thing is, I don't believe him. There's no way that guy's older than I am.
See?
There's
No,
no
it's
way.
amazing. It's amazing.
Look, get a load of this weird trivia. Rank me, Dylan Radigan, and Don Lemon in age. Don Lemon is the oldest. I'm the second oldest. Dylan Radigan's the youngest.
It's amazing.
No one would guess that.
I think he has young telomeres or really long telomeres.
That's a story for another day. We'll bring that to you tomorrow so you'll understand
His
what that's about.
biological age is a lot younger. See? I know
See?
stuff.
See? She knows stuff.